Hello viewers and welcome to the lesson. Thank you for watching and following the channel. This is Mathematics for Kenya Junior School Education Assessment for Grade 8. We shall go through all these questions in this paper and see how we're supposed to work them out. Remember to check the link to the paper in the description. You can download that paper and try to solve the questions and confirm what we have already done. We start by going through the instructions, which is very important. So read all the instructions given in this paper. There are multiple choice questions. That is in section 1 has multiple choice question. And then you can see all the other section B and then the total. So very first, we go to section A, 20 marks. Question 1. What is the value of -3 squared plus -2 cubed? So what is -3 squared? The square of a number is the number multiplied by itself 2 times. So -3 squared is -3 times -3. Then we add the cube of -2. The cube of a number is the number multiplied by itself 3 times. So -2 times -2 times -2. That is -2 cubed. What is -3 times -3? 2 negatives when multiplied gives positive. So negative times negative gives positive. So this will be -3 times -3, positive 9. Add -2 times -2. We multiplied up to that point. -2 times -2, those are 2 negatives. You get positive 4. Then positive 4 times -2. Positive multiplied by negative gives negative. So you have positive 4 multiplied by -2. That will give -8. So here we have 9 plus -8. And these will give 9 positive plus -8. That will give negative. Positive and negative. Remember what we've said, negative plus or times positive or positive times negative. That will give -8. And this gives 9 subtract 8. The solution is 1. Question 2. Express 0.45 as a simplified fraction. So 0.45 is the same as 0.45 divided by 1. See, the same. So what do you do when you want to get rid of the decimal places? I want to remove the decimal places in 0.45. I'll simply multiply the numerator by 100 and the denominator by 100. So that now this one, the 2 decimals are gone. You remain with 45. Then the denominator will have 1 times 100. That will give 100. Now after that, you simplify. You can see 45 and 100 have a common factor. So 45 divided by 5, you get 9. Then 100 divided by 5, you get 20. So you can simplify that one to 9 divided by 20. 9 divided by 20. We go to question 3. The area of a triangle with base 12 centimeters and height 8 centimeters is. So this is the area of a triangle. How do you get the area of a triangle? The area of a triangle is given by half multiplied by the base multiplied by the height. So you have half multiplied by the base is 12, multiplied by the height, which is 8. Then you can simplify. 2 divided by 2, 1. 12 divided by 2, you get 6. 6 multiplied by 8, that will give 48 centimeters squared. That is B. Question 4. Solve the equation 4x subtract 7 is equals to 9. So 4x subtract 7 is equals to 9. How do you solve these? Remember, you want to find the value of x. So on the left hand side, where we have 4x subtract 7, you must eliminate everything and remain with x. So we start by eliminating 7. And this is what you do. We take it to the right hand side. It is -7. When you take it to the right hand side, it becomes 9 positive 7. Or you add 7 and plus 7. Or simply what you can do, you can add 7 to both sides to get rid of 7. So this gives a 4x is equals to 9 plus 7, that is 16. Then from there, divide both sides by 4 to remain with x, divide both sides by 4, and this will give x to be, so by 4, 1 by 4, 1, so x is equals to 16 divided by 4, which is 4. Question 5, what is the next number in the sequence? What is the next number in the sequence? So you have the sequence which is 2, 5, 10, 17, then you add like that. So you need to find what is the pattern, what is happening, what is the rule in this sequence. This is how we do it. So just observe from 2 to 5, you add 3, so 2 plus 3, or you can take 5 subtract 2, and see that is 3. Then 5 again to 10, 5 to 10, so you can see 10 subtract 5, that is 5. So you can see that. Then 17 subtract 10, that is 7. Then I want you to look at these numbers, 3, 5, and 7. So 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 7, 17. So when you look at these numbers here, the differences among these numbers, we have 3, 5, and 7. Those are odd numbers. So 3, odd number. The next odd number after 3 is 5. The next one after 5 is 7. The next odd number after 7 is 9. So therefore, the next number will be obtained by taking 17 plus 9, which is 26, as the solution. Question 6. A shopkeeper buys an item at 200 shillings and sells it at 250. What is the percentage profit? So how do you find percentage profit? It is given by profit divided by the cost price of the buying price multiplied by 100. So how do you get profit? Profit is given by the selling price minus the buying price. So you can see the selling price is 250. Then the buying price is 200. So that means the profit is 50. So percentage profit is a profit, which is 50, divided by the buying price is 200, multiplied by 100. So I'll simplify these two zeros and these two zeros you cancel. Then you have by 2, 1 by 2, you have 25. So this gives 25%. Question 7. The sum of angles in a quadrilateral is? What is a quadrilateral? A quadrilateral is a four-sided figure. An example is a rectangle, a rhombus, a square. Those are examples of quadrilaterals, four-sided figure. And the sum, if you, for example, look at one like a rectangle has 4 angles and a square, and each angle is 90. So because there are 4 angles, that is 90 times 4, that will give 360. So for any quadrilateral, the sum of angles, that is interior angles, will give 360. Question 8, simplify. We have these algebra here. So these are how we simplify these. So we have 3, 2a plus b, subtract 2a minus 2b. So these are how we simplify it. So open the brackets, multiply everything inside here by 3. So 3 times 2a will give 6a, plus 3 times b, you get 3b. Then subtract 2 times a, 2a. Then here you need to be very keen. You see negative 2 times negative 2b. So for the first one here is negative 2 times a, negative 2a. Then negative 2 times negative 2b. Those are two negatives and you have to get positive. When you multiply two negatives, you get positive. So 2 times negative 2b, that will give 4b. Then from there, group them, the like terms together. So you have 6a minus 2a, those are like terms. Then you have 3b plus 4b, like terms together. So 6a minus 2a, 4a plus 3b plus 4b, that will give 7b. That is the simplified expression, 4a plus 7b. Go to question number 9. Convert that 6 kilometers per hour to meters per second. So these are how we go about these. So that is 6 kilometers per hour. you can write it as 36 kilometers per hour, means divided by 1 hour. So what you need to do is convert kilometers to meters. So, 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. So to convert 36 kilometers to meters, first of all, you have to multiply that by 1,000. 36 times 1,000. By doing so, we've converted the kilometers to meters, given 1 kilometers is equals to 1,000 meters. Then what about for an hour? You know very well that 1 hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. So 1 hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. So divide by, this is 3,600. 3,600. So you can see what we've done here. So 1 hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. Then 36 kilometers is the same as 36 times 1,000. That is the 6,000 meters. Then from there you can divide. So these two zeros divide with that. So you have that by 36 1 by 36 1. So you're remaining with 10. So this will give 10 meters per second, because below here you have seconds, and then here you have meters. So that is 10 meters per second. Question 10. Find the square of 289. So how do you find the square root of 289? What is the square root of a number? When you're getting the square root of a number, you actually find the number that you can multiply by itself 2 times in order to get that number. So which number do you multiply by itself to get 289? That is what you should ask yourself. So you do this by factorization. You look at 289, try to express it in terms of the product of its prime factors. So it is not divisible by 2, that is the first prime number. Then 3, again, it is not divisible by 3. Then 5. Then we have 7, these are prime numbers. Then 9, you can list them. Then you have 11, you have 13, you have 15, you have 17, and so on. You have 19. So among these 2, this number is not divisible by 2. It is not divisible by 3. It is not divisible by 5. Not divisible by 9. Not divisible by 9, 11, 13. Not divisible by all these. But when you look at 17, if you divide this number 289, you divide it by 17, you'll notice this is what you're going to get. So this is 1, this is 17, you have 1, and then you have this is 1, so this is 119. 119, this will go 7 times again, so 7 times 17, this is 119. See, it is divisible. So therefore, because it is divisible by 17, if you take 17 multiply by 17, if you take 17 multiply by 17, this will give 289. And therefore, or when you're getting the square root using the factorization method, you simply look at the number that you can multiply by itself 2 times to give you that number. And the number here is 17. So 17 times 17, 289. So the square root is 17. Question 11. What is the value of digit 5 in that number? So the number that you're given is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2. So this is how we get the value of the digit 5. So we have this one as ones. Start from the right hand. This is ones. This is the tens. This is hundreds. From there you have this one is thousands. Then we have tens of thousands. Then this one is hundreds of thousands. Then from here, this one is the million. And then we have this one is tens of millions. So already you have seen that we have 5 in the place value. The place value of 5, digit 5, is a million. Therefore, when you are getting the value, million is the place value. But now you require to get the value of that digit. So because the value is 5 and it is in the millions place value, you simply take 5 and multiply it by million, 1 million, and this one gives 5 million, which is here, B. Question 12, what is the interior angle of regular octagon? What is the interior angle? Just one angle. For you to solve this question, you need to know what is the sum of all the angles in an octagon. An octagon is a regular polygon with 8 sides. It has got 8 sides. So the sum of angles in a regular polygon is given by this formula: 2n subtract 4 multiply by 90, where n is the number of sides. It is the number of sides. So you just need to replace n with the number of sides of an octagon, which is 8. So this will give 2 times 8, subtract 4, multiply by 90, like that. N is the number of sides, and that is the formula we use when you're getting the sum of the interior angles of any regular polygon. So this will give 2 times 8, you get 16, subtract 4, multiply by 90. And this gives 16 subtract 4 is 12, 12 times 90, 12 times 90, this one will give, so this is a 12 times 9, this is 18, 108, 1080 degrees. So 1080 degrees is the sum of all the angles. Now, since we want to get one angle, you just need to take this and divide it by, 8. So you simply take 1080, and then you divide it by 8. So that is how we get that. So you must know, how do you get the sum of interior angles of any regular polygon? You get for the sum of the interior angles of an octagon, which is 1080, that is all the angles. Then now, because you want to get the interior angle, take 1080 divided by 8, because all the angles are equal. All the angles are equal. It's a regular octagon. Regular means all the sides are equal. So this gives 135 when you divide that. So 135. Question 13. Which shape has all sides equal but angles not necessarily 90 degrees? So we look at this solution one by one. So a rectangle doesn't have all the sides equal, so that one is out. That one is out. A square has all the sides equal, but the angles are all 90. So the condition here is the angles are not necessarily 90, but for a square, all the angles are 90, so that is out. Rhombus, all the sides are equal, yes, and all the angles are not necessarily 90. It is true. Rhombus looks like this. Looks like this. All the sides are equal. But when you look at all these angles, they are not all 90. They are not necessarily all 90. So that is a solution. You don't need to go to the trapezium. Because for a trapezium, you know how a trapezium looks like? Trapezium looks like this. It has 2 pairs of parallel sides. And all the sides are not equal. All the angles are not necessarily 90. So all the sides are not equal, so it is out. Question 14. If y varies directly as x and y is equals to 12 when x is equals to 3, find y when x is equals to 5. So y varies directly as x. That is how we write that, using the sign of proportionality. Then, when you remove this sign of proportionality, you must introduce a constant. Constant, like let's say letter k, then x, like that. So you're given that when y is equals to 12, just substitute k multiply, then x is what? X is 3. So by doing this, we'll get the value of k. So 12 is equals to k times 3, which is 3k. So how do you get K? You divide both sides by 3. So K is equals to 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Now, the connection between y and x now becomes y is equals to K, which is 4, then x is there. So now find the value of y when x is 5. So y is equals to 4 times x. X is 5. So y will be 20. Question 15. Find the volume of a cuboid 5 centimeter by 3 centimeters by 2. How do you get the volume of a cuboid? Length times the width times the height. Since the length is 5 centimeters, the width is 3 centimeters, and the height is 2 centimeters. So when you multiply this, 5 times 3 times 2, that is 15 times 2, that is 30 centimeters cubed. Question 16. A bag contains 3 red, 2 green, and 5 blue balls. Probability of picking red is? So red. So how do you get the probability? You take reds. How many reds are there? There are 3. Then to get the probability, we have to divide by the total outcomes. That is all the balls. So 3 reds plus 2 green plus 5 blue. So that is how you get the probability of picking red. So it is red divided by the total number of balls in that bag. So this will be 3 divided by, this is 10. So that is the probability of picking red. Question 17. What is the range of the set of this data? You must understand what is range. Range is obtained by getting the highest or the largest, subtract the smallest. So what is the highest value here? The highest value is 25. You can see. Then the smallest of all is 10. So the range is the difference between the highest and the smallest, which is 15. Question 18. Find the gradient between these 2 points. These 2, 4 and 4, 8. How do you get the gradient? Gradient, M is the gradient, is given by the change in y coordinate divided by the change in x coordinate. How do you get the change in the y coordinate? Change in y coordinate, take 8, subtract 4. Change in the y coordinate, be careful, is the y coordinate. Or you can take 4 subtract 8, is still the same. So I'm starting from this end, 8 subtract 4, then divided by 4 subtract 2. So this will give 4 divided by 2, and this gives 2. The gradient is 2. Question 19. Constructing an angle of 90 degrees using compass and ruler involves bisecting. Bisecting, you have to understand what is the meaning of bisecting. Bisecting means dividing into 2 equal angles. That is what we mean by bisecting an angle, dividing the angle into 2 equal parts. So if you're bisecting, if you're constructing an angle of 90, which angle do you need to divide by 2? You need to divide a certain angle by 2 in order to get 90 degrees. So when you look at 30, when you divide 30 by 2, that one is out. You cannot get that. So that one is out. 45 by 2 divided by 2, you will not get 90. 60 degrees divided by 2, you'll get 30, not 90. But now when you take 180, if you take 180 and bisect it, that means you divide it by 2. This is what is going to give you 90 degrees. And therefore, to construct an angle of 90 degrees, you need to bisect 180 degrees. We go to question 20. Convert 37.5 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. You're given 1 Kelvin is equals to degrees Celsius plus 273. So from this formula, Kelvin is equals to what? The degrees Celsius. In this case, we have the degree Celsius as 37.5 degrees Celsius. Then we add 273. So just need to add this. So 37 0.5 plus 273. Be very careful when you're adding the decimals. The decimal point is supposed to be aligned along a straight line like this. So you add these, you get 5. You get 7 plus 3, you get 10. 7 plus 3, 10 plus 1, 8, 11. Then this one is 310.5 Kelvin, 310.5. Section B, 80 marks. Answer all the questions in the spaces provided. Show all the workings. Question 21. Part A, evaluate. So you're supposed to evaluate this expression that is given here. So 43 plus 52 divided by 15, subtract 8, everything divided by 4, multiply by 3. Now we shall begin with whatever we have here in the numerator. So 43 plus 52. So we start with that. So 43 plus 52 divided by 15, subtract 8. When you look at these, we have division, we have subtraction, and we have addition. So the law of BODMAS must apply. This law must apply. And therefore, when you look at all these operations, you're supposed to begin with division. So that is what you're going to work it out. So this is how you're going to rearrange it. So you shall have 43 plus 52 divided by 15. You write it like that, and then you subtract 8. So when it is like this, you notice now we have addition and then subtraction. So we can start with addition and then we go to subtraction according to the law of BODMAS. So I'll begin by adding these. So let me add these. So 43 is the same as 43 divided by 1 plus 52 divided by 15. So you add these, get the LCM of 1 and 15. This is 15. 15 divided by 1, that is 15. 15 times 43, you get 645. 15 multiplied by, confirm 43. Yes, it is okay. 645. Then plus the other one, 15 divided by 15, 1. That is 1 times 52. This is going to give 52. So when you add these 645 plus 52, you will get 697 divided by 15. So that is what you get for that part. So what we have already worked is the numerator there. So the next thing that you should do is now putting it there. So for the numerator, we have 697 divided by 15, like that. And then we are supposed to divide that one by, we subtract. So we need to subtract first before we go to that, to division. We have not subtracted 8. So we have 697 divided by 15, subtract 8. We subtract 8, it is here. So 8 over 1, again, get the LCM. The LCM is 15. 15 divided by 15, 1. 1 times 697, you get 697. Subtract 15 divided by 1, 15. 15 multiplied by 8. 15 multiplied by 8, that will give 120. So 697 subtract 120, that will give 577. 577 divided by 15. That is what you get. And now, I think for that part now, we are through. For this part, 43 plus 52 divided by 15, subtract 8. Now the whole solution is here. So we just confirming. So everything is there. So now what you should do is simply dividing that. Now we have 577 divided by 15. We divide by 4 and then we multiply by 3. We divide by 4, then we multiply by 3. That one is simply the same as multiplying by 3/4. is the same as multiplying by 3/4. So you can see we're supposed to multiply this by 3, which is here, by 3, and then we divide by 4. Because the whole of the solution here, we got it as 577 divided by 15. So we multiply by 3, which is here, then we divide by 4. Like that. So that is what we're supposed to do. So now from here we can simplify. 3 divided by 3, 1. 15 divided by 3, that is 5. Like that. And now when I look at this, nothing of it. 577 and 4 and 5 cannot divide. So 577 give 577 divided by 5 times 4, which is 20. You can simplify these. You can simplify these by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Then 577 divided by 2. 577 divided by 2, you get 28. Not 28, but 288. 288.5. So now dividing these, when you divide 288.5, divide that by 10, because you move the decimal one place backwards like that, and you get 28.85 as the solution. So that is all for that part. We can proceed to the other part. Part B, a farm is shared. Alice gets a third, Ben a half of the remainder, Carol the rest. Total land is 30 hectares. Find land Carol gets 4 marks. So that is question part B. So Alice gets that. Ben a half of what remains. So what remains? After Alice got a third, what remains? We get the remainder by taking the total, the whole piece of land, and we assume the whole piece of land to be 3 divided by 3, or 1, a whole fraction, that is 1. So if the whole land is 1 and Alice has taken a third, so what remains is actually 2 thirds. 2 thirds is what remains. 2 thirds is what remains. So Ben gets half of the remainder. So half of the remainder, which is 2 thirds. And this will give 2 divided by 2 times 3, 2 divided by 6, which is the same as a third. So Ben gets a third. Then Carol gets the rest. The rest. Now it is the rest after Alice and Ben. So let's see what Alice and Ben got. So Alice got a third. Then Ben got a third. So when you add that, you get 2 thirds. So we say the whole land, we take the whole land to be 1, represented by 1. Then subtract now what Alice and Ben got, which is 2 thirds. Like that. And this will give a third. We still remain with a third. So it seems the land was divided equally. So Carol will get the rest, and the rest is a third. So now when you add Alice, Ben, and Carol, you should get 1. That is the size of the land. Now the total land is 30. The total land is 30, and we assumed the total land to be represented by 1. The total land is represented by 1. So 1 represents 30 hectares. So find the land Carol gets. What about a third? That is what Carol got. So a third will represent what? So you just cross multiply to be a third times 30 times 1. So this will be 10 hectares. Part C, round off 456.783, 1 to the nearest 10 to the nearest 10. So the number is 456.783 to the nearest 10. The first step is to identify the digit in the tens place value, and this is the digit that is in the tens place value, that is 5. From there, step number 2, check the next number, the immediate number to the right. The immediate number to the right of that number is 6. If you find the immediate number to the right is 5 or more, you have to round this forward by adding 1 to the tens digit. If you find this number could be less than 5, that is 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, we could not have added 1 here. So now, since this one is in that category, 5 or more, we are going to add 1. We shall add 1 here, this digit here, 5, and therefore we shall get this one as 4, 6, and then don't leave it at that point. All the others to the right are supposed to be zeros. All the others are supposed to be 0. Don't leave it at 46. So this digit now will not be 6. We're interested with the tens place value. We've added 1 there, so you get 6. And the others will be 0.000, which will not make any difference. It will not be significant. So this will be 460. Correct one decimal place. Correct one decimal place. The number is 556.783. Correct one decimal place means we need this number. The way it is correct to 3 decimal places. We count the decimal places from the decimal point. How many numbers are there? You can see there are 3. So this number, the way it is correct to 3 decimal places. So therefore, if we want to round it to correct one decimal place, we need it up to that point. So we need it up to 7, where 7 is. So again, check the immediate number to the right of 7. You find it is 8. So if it is 8, you say, if you find it is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, that is a 5 or more, you have to add 1 to the next, to that number, that is 7. You have to add 1. If you find it is less, 5, 4, this is a 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, you don't add anything. So here we are going to add 1, and then this one will be 456 point. Correct one decimal place, this will be 0.8. You add 1 to 7. The next one is part D. Express 0.0032 in standard form. That is 2 marks. So writing a number in standard form, when you're required to write any number in standard form, it should be written in this format: a times 10 raised to power n, where a should be a number that is between 1 and 9, or in simple terms, you can say a should be less than 10, and a should be greater than or equal to 1. So a should be a number that is less than 10, and it should be greater than or equal to 1. So when I talk of 1 and 9.99, that is the number. So when you look at this number here, so that it can fall between this given range that is here, that it should be less than 10 and greater than or equal to 1, it should be written as 3. You should put the decimal there, 3.2. You can see it is between there, so I've put the decimal here. So times 10, n is an integer. Any integer should be any integer, positive, negative, whole numbers, including 0, can be any. So looking at where you place the decimal, now to move back to where the decimal was, if you put the decimal there, 3.2, you have to move to go back to where the decimal was originally from here. 1, 2, 3. You count 3 steps backwards. 3 steps backwards from where you put the decimal point to where it was originally. You move 3 places, or 3 points to the left or backwards. So that is why I put this one to -3. So that is how you're supposed to write it in standard form. Now the number is in standard form. Question 22, part A. Solve the simultaneous equation graphically. 2x plus 3y is equals to 11. X minus y is equals to 3. 6 marks. To solve these simultaneous equations graphically, you have to graph each of these equations. 2x plus 3y is equals to 11 is the equation of a straight line. So 2x plus 3y is equals to 11. This is an equation of a straight line, so you have to draw that straight line. Then you also draw the other straight line, that is x minus y is equals to 3. You have to draw that. Once you've drawn that, you check the point of intersection of those two lines. Where they intersect, that gives the solution. So we start with the first one. 2x plus 3y is equals to 1. We graph that line. To draw that line, you will need at least 2 points. So you're going to use 3 points. 2 are okay, but you can use the third one for confirmation. So for these points, you choose them randomly by simply ensuring that the values that you choose will not be big, not to fit to this graph that you have been given here. So you must be very considerate of that. Don't choose very small values. Don't choose very big values. And when you're choosing these values, always ensure that you avoid choosing values that will give you negatives, fractions, or decimals. Just look for the one that will give you whole numbers. It will be easier for you to plot them. Now, for example, the first one I will think of is when x is 1. When x is 1, for example, when x is 1, what will be y? You simply substitute. Take this equation. When x is 1, 2x, x is 1, substitute 1 there with x plus 3y is equals to 1. So you find this will give, not 1, but this is 11, I'm sorry. This is 11. 11 is equals to 11. So 1, this will give 2 plus 3y is equals to 11. So 3y will be given by, so this one is 11, subtract 2. So 3y is equals to 9. Notice that y will be, divide both sides by 3 to be 3. So y will be 3. See, you are getting a whole number for that. From there, you can choose another one. Let me choose, for example, negative 2. So when x is negative 2, so you're substituting in this equation. So 2 into brackets, x is negative 2 plus 3y is equals to 11. So this will give 2 times negative 2, negative 4 plus 3y is equals to 11. So 3y is equals to 11 plus, so when you take negative 4 to the right hand side, you get 11 plus 4, which will give 15. So y will be 15 divided by 3, divide both sides by 3. This will give 5. So you're still getting whole numbers. Those 2 points are enough for you to draw a straight line, but for confirmation, it is advisable that you use that point. You can use that one for confirmation of that line. So you can use, for example, 7. When x is 7, so 2, x is 7 plus 3y is equals to 11. So this will give 14 plus 3y is equals to 11. So 3y is equals to, take this one to the other side, it will be 11 minus 14. So 3y is equals to 11 minus 14, that will give negative 3. And y will be, divide both sides by 3. Negative 3 divided by 3, that will give negative 1. So this is negative 1. So already we have that line. Now when you use, we draw a straight line using those 3 points, we'll get that line. Now let's go to the other one. And the other one is quite easy. So let me go to the other one. So the other equation is x subtract y is equals to 3. So again, choose the values of x and y, 3 of them. So these ones are easy. When x is 0, what will be y? So just substitute x is 0 minus y is equals to 3. So negative y is equals to 3. So y will be negative 3. Y will be negative 3. Y will be negative 3. So we choose another one. We choose another one. When x is 3, when x is 3, for example, when x is 3, so x is 3, so 3 minus y is equals to 3. So take this one to the other side. Negative y is equals to 3 subtract 3 to be 0. So y will be 0 for this. Y will be 0. And then we can use another one still. When x is 1, when x is 1, when x is 1, when x is 1, so x is 1, so x1 subtract y is equals to 3. So take this one to the other side. Negative y is equals to 3 subtract 1. 3 subtract 1. This will give negative y is equals to 2. Like that. So y will be negative 2. Y will be negative 2. Like that. So that one is okay. Now you have those points. We plot now the first line. So looking at the values, look at the values of x and y. So you can see the largest here is for the x value. We have 1, negative 2, 7. So the largest there is 7. The smallest is negative 2. Then for y, look at those values that you need to plot. We have negative 1, 5, and so this one is important so that you can be able to know how you're going to draw your axis when you look at these values. So for me, I think when I draw it like this, when I draw it here, I think this will be okay. And then negative, I think my axis, when I draw my axis like that, so this one should be the y-axis, this one should be the x-axis. So the 0 is there, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the values are accommodated. So me plot the first one. The first one is a 1, 3. So 1, 3. So 1, 3 will be here. 1, 3 will be there. So you plot that. 1, 3 is there. Then negative 2, 5. Negative 2, 5. So negative 2 is here. 5 is here. So negative 2, 5 here. Then 7, negative 1. 7, negative 1. So 7, negative 1 will be there. So 7, negative 1 there. So now these are the points 1, 2, 3. You join them using a straight line and use a ruler for this. So you join them using a straight line. So that is the line, ensuring that all the points, the 3 points that you have, 1, 3, 1, 3, you can see it passes through there. Negative 2, 5, negative 2, 5, you can see it is passing there. and then you have 7, -1. So the other line, so this equation of this line is 2x plus 3y is equals to 11. The other one is 0, -3. 0, -3. Now you're plotting this. 0, -3 is here. So 0, -3 is there. Then 3, 0. 3, 0 is here. 3, 0 is here. Then 1, -2. 1, -2 is here. 1, -2 is the point there. So 1, -2. So the 3 points are there. So 0, -3 is here. 3, 0 is here. 1, -2. 1, -2 is there. So the 3 points are here. So join them using a straight line. So join them using a straight line. Like that. You're interested with the point of intersection of the two. So when you look at the points, it is passing through those points. So it is always good to notice that. So those are the points. Sorry. So this is the point. This is the other point. The line is passing through, and this is the other point. So look at the point of intersection now. So let me write the equation of this line. Y is equals to, or x minus y. This is x minus y is equals to 3. So the point of intersection is here. This is the solution. This is what gives the solution. So very important to note that this is where we get the answer, the point of intersection there. And when you look at this point is 4, 1. The point of intersection is 4, 1. This point, the coordinates of this point, 4, 1. Just confirm that 4, 1. So now having got that, the point of intersection is 4, 1. Remember, when you're solving these equations, we are required to get the values of x and y. So 4 is the value of x, the x coordinate. Y is 1. So x is given by 4. X is 4. Then y is 1. Like that. And you solve that simultaneous equation graphically. We go to the next. The next question is on simplifying. You're supposed to simplify the expression completely. Simplify this expression completely. You have to be very careful with the brackets here. So you have 5x, then subtract 3. 3 has to multiply everything that is in the bracket here. So 3 times 2, you get, that is 6x. 3 times 2x, that is 6x. Then look at this. There's a negative there. So it is good to notice that this is -3 times 2. That is -6. -3 times -4. So -3 times -4. That will give positive 12. -3 times -4. That is positive 12. Then plus x. Once you've opened the brackets, collect the like terms together, arrange them. So you have 5x, subtract 6x, plus x. You arrange them like that, and then plus 12. So 5x. Remember, when you have addition and subtraction, you start with addition. So you can start with, you can rearrange this one as well, like 5x plus x minus 6x, starting with addition, and then you end up with subtraction. So 5x plus x, 5x plus x, you have 6x. 6x subtract 6x. Notice that, is important to notice that. So what is 6x? Subtract 6x, that will be 0x. That will give 0x. And 0x is the same as 0. There's nothing like 0x. So you simply leave that one as 0. So that will be 0. So 5x plus x, that is 6x minus 6x, that will give 0 plus 12. So the answer here will be 12. The next one, part C, factorize 6x squared, subtract 18xy. You get 2 marks for that. So you have to be careful here to notice what is common. What is common between 6x squared and 18xy. What is common? And you do this by simply having something like this. So you can see, for example, 6 is common in both of them. 6 is common. So when you divide 6x squared divided by 6, you remain with x squared. Then 18xy divided by 6, that will give 3xy. So you see, you're reducing. Now look at x squared and 3xy. What is common? X is common. So when you divide x squared divided by x, you get x. 3xy divided by x, you get 3y. So that is what you do. Until now, when you look at x and 3y, there's nothing that is common. There's nothing. So you have started by dividing 6x squared and 18xy by 6. You got these and these. Then you divide again by x. Now when you look at x and 3y, there's nothing common. So what is there for common between these two is 6 times x, which is 6x. So when you take 6 times x, that will give 6x. So when 6x is out, so now you remain with 3y. 3y. Actually, when you look at what we have here, is the solution is here. When you factor out 6x in 6x squared, you get x. X is there. You factor out 6x in 18xy, you remain with 3y. So 3y is there. So that one is fully factorized. So that is how you factorize that. We go to part D. Part D. Solve. 3x plus 2 is equals to 27. Solving, you must get the value of x. So 3x plus 2 is equals to 27. So you begin by, you want to be left. On one side, you remove everything. On the left hand side, where we have 3x plus 2, you remain with x. So you start by removing positive 2 from the left hand side. And you do that by simply subtracting 2 from both sides, or simply taking this one to the right hand side there. And you get 3x is equals to positive 2. When you take it to the right hand side, it will be negative 2. Like that. So you get 3x is equals to 27 subtract 2, that is 25. Like that. Then from there, divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. By 3. So x will be 25 divided by 3. And 25 divided by 3 will be 8 and 1 over 3. Simple as that. Question 23. The angles in a triangle are in the ratio 2:3:5. Find the 3 angles. Find the 3 angles. So the first thing, what is the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle? So the sum of the angles in a triangle will give 180. So 180 is the one that is to be shared amongst these 3 angles in the ratio 2:3:5. So the first thing is to get the sum of these ratios. 2:3:5. Add the sum. 2 plus 3 plus 5. The sum gives 10. So the proportion of the first angle is 2 divided by the total, which is 10, multiplied by the sum of the angles. That will give the first angle. That will be the first angle. The second angle will be given by 3. We are using these from the ratio, so 2:3:5. So 3 divided by 10 multiplied by 180. And then the third angle will be given by 5 divided by 10 multiplied by 180. So the first one, we go to the first one. So the first one will, these zeros will cancel. You have 2 times 18, that will give that 6 degrees. Then again 3 times 18, this will give 54. Then 5 times 18, that will give 90 degrees. So you can confirm when you add 36, to 54 to 90, that should give 180. So that is how you work it out, by first getting the sum of the ratios and then getting each angle by taking the proportion of each angle to the total multiplied by the sum. So that is how you're supposed to do it. So you go to the other question. The other question is a question on construction. How are you supposed to construct triangle ABC? So construct triangle ABC, where AB is a 6, and then BAC is a 60 degrees. So you can start by sketching. You can sketch. So that triangle should look like this: A, B, C, where AB is 6 centimeters, AC is 5 centimeters. Then angle BAC is that angle, should be 60 degrees. And you can do all these without using protractor. So we start question. So I start by drawing a baseline, which is AB. So AB, and AB should be 6 centimeters. Should be 6 centimeters. So 6 centimeters, let me take 6 centimeters here. So 6 centimeters should go up to that point. Six centimeters should be there. So measured 6 centimeters, be there. So this is A, and this one is B. So the next thing, constructing an angle of 60 at A is quite easy. You simply take a pair of compass, stand at A, then standing at A, adjust your pair of compass at any convenient radius. Then with that radius, you can draw an arc like that with the same radius, though changing it. Stand at that point where you made that arc, and then from there you can cut that arc. So from there, now when you join A to the point of intersection, when you join A to the point of intersection, like that, so join A to the point of intersection of that arc, that is going to give 60 degrees, like that. That should give 60 degrees. So that is how you construct an angle of 60. So that will be 60 degrees. And now AC should be 5 centimeters. 6 centimeters. So standing at A, you can do this by using a ruler. So standing at A, stretch this one should give 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters. I'm using my pair of compass. It is calibrated. That is why I'm not using a ruler. but you can use a ruler. You can take this measurement using a ruler as well. So by standing there, and can take that is like that. That is a 5. So that is a 5 centimeters. So mark an arc here. Mark an arc there. So this will be point C. This is point C, and this one is 5 centimeters. This is 6 centimeters. Now you can complete the triangle by simply joining B to C using a ruler and a straight line. So you simply join it like that. You simply join it like that, and now you have your complete. You have your complete triangle. The triangle is complete. Let's go to the questions. Measure the angle ABC and state its size. ABC, it is this angle. So ABC is that angle that is there. So you need to measure that. So you need a protractor to do this. So to measure that angle, simply place your protractor like this. The central part of the protractor should be at B. Should be there. And you read that angle. You read that angle. So when I read this angle here, you notice that this angle is ABC. This angle is 50. So just look at it. So this angle is 50. So from here, you're measuring it from here. So this is 10, 20, 30, 50, 51, 52, around 53 degrees. Let me confirm. It is 53. So I've confirmed. This is a 50, 51, 52, 53. So that angle is 53 degrees. So the next question, construct the perpendicular bisector of line AB. Perpendicular bisector of line AB. So we use a pair of compass to do that. Perpendicular bisector of AB. This is what you do. You stand at A with your pair of compass, any convenient radius, and ensure that you open it. The radius that you're going to use will be more than half of that line. So having that radius from A, you simply mark an arc there, and then you mark another arc there. Then extended B, and then cut that arc, and then the same radius without changing, cut that arc. So from there, use a ruler to do this. Join so the point of intersection. So now join the point of intersection of those arcs. So we have this point here. in this point, using a ruler, draw a line. So you draw a line like that. And that is how you construct the perpendicular bisector of AB. You've divided AB into two equal parts, and also that line meets AB at 90 degrees. Question 24. The marks scored by 10 learners, 15, 20, 25, 18, 30, 22, 28, 15, and 24, 23. The marks are there. The questions: find 1, the mean, 2, the median, and 3, the range. We start with the first one, the mean. How do you get the mean? Mean is also known as average. So to get the mean, you add everything here, and then you divide by the number of learners. So we have 15 plus. So we add everything. That is a 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 18 plus 30 plus 22 plus 28 plus 15 plus 24 plus 23. Everything divided by the number of learners. That is how we get the number of learners, 10. So that is how we get the mean, also known as the average. Also known as the average. So there are 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when you add everything here, 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 18 plus 30 plus 22 plus 28 plus 15 plus 24 plus 23, that gives 220. Divide by 10, that gives 22. You get 22. Part 2, the median. How do you get the median? Now for the median, you have to arrange this set of data either in ascending or descending order. From the largest to the smallest, that is descending, or from the smallest to the largest, that is ascending. So I'll arrange this one from the smallest to the largest. And I start. So the smallest is 15. And how many 15s are here? There are 2 15s. Be very keen. And then from there we have 18. The next is 18. Then the next is 20. 20 is 1. Then from 20 we have 22. 22. Then from 22 we have 23. Then we have 24. Then 25. Then 28 and 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have arranged this set of data from the smallest to the largest. We want to get the median. The median is the middle value. The middle value in this set of data. So how do we get the middle value? Very easy. And the easiest way to do this is, that is how we do it. The easiest way to get the middle value. Cancel this with the other one that is on the right. Cancel this one with that. Cancel this one with this. Cancel this one with this. And then you notice that if you cancel the 2 that are remaining, you don't have anything. So the 2 that are left there, sometimes when you do this and cancel and you get 1 being left here, if you have 1 that is left here, that is the median. In the event you have 2, you can see you have 4 values to the left, 4 values to the right. At the middle here we have 2. So how do you get the median now having these 2? You get the average of the 2. So you get 22 plus 23. You divide by 2. This will give 45 divided by 2, and this will give 22.5. Part 3 is the range. So what is the range? The range is the difference between the highest or the largest, the smallest. That is the range. The difference between the highest value or the largest value and as the smallest. So what is the largest? the largest figure in this set of data. The largest is 30. Then the smallest, subtract the smallest, that is how you get the range. Or you can talk of maximum minus the minimum. So the smallest is 15. So 30 subtract 15, you get 15. 15 is the range, the difference between the largest and the smallest. We go to part B. So for part B is a probability. A bag contains 7 red, 5 blue, and 3 green balls. A ball is picked at random. Find the probability that 1. It is red. How many reds are here? There are 7. So the first thing, we get the total number of balls in that bag, which is 7 plus 5 plus 3. So this gives the total values as, this will give 12 or 15. You get 15. So once you get 15, what is the probability of picking a red amongst these 15? The reds are, so probability of picking red, we write it like that, is given by, you get the reds are 7, divided by the total number of balls in that bag. So that will be the probability of picking a red ball. Part 2, probability that it is not blue. So if it is not blue, probability that it is not blue, you write it like that, will be the probability then that it is red, or the probability that it is green. That is what we mean by it is not blue. It is therefore either red or green. So what is the probability of red? 7 over 15. Or in probability we add, and this green is 3. Green is 3 over 15. So when you add 7 over 15 plus 3 over 15, this will give 10 over 15. And when you simplify these, you can simplify these to get by 5 2 by 5 3. You can get this one as 2/3. Then part 3, probability it is not green or red. The probability it is green or red. It is green or red. So probability it is green or red. So we just said that the laws of probability, or in probability, that means that we shall add. So we take this is the same as probability of green plus the probability of red. So the probability it is green or red is the same as probability it is green plus the probability that is red. So probability that it is green, the probability of picking green, greens are 3, so that will be 3 over 15. That is the probability of picking green, plus the probability it is a red, it is 7. The reds are 7 over 15. So when you add these, you get just the same with the previous answer. Because for the previous answer, the probability that it is not blue means it is either green or red. So it's the same answer. So this will give 10 divided by 15, and it will be the same, 2/3. It's just the same. Question 25. A cylindrical tank has a diameter, so is here, diameter of 1.4 meters and height 2.1 meters. Use pi is equals to 22 over 7. So the diagram is there. Part A, find 1, the area of the base. So when you look at the base is circular, and therefore you're going to get the area of the circle. So how do you get the area of the base which is circular? By simply using this formula. Area is equals to pi r squared. So therefore this will give 22 over 7, which is pi, multiplied by the radius. The radius is this diameter is given as 1.4, so the radius you divide that one by 2, so it will be 1.4 divided by 2 give 0.7 times 0.7, that is 0.7 squared. So when you multiply these, because when you divide out by 7 on 0.7 divided by 7, you get 0.1. And when you do this multiplication, you shall get 1.54 meters squared. So that is the area of the base, which is circular. The next question is part 2, which is a question on the volume of the tank in cubic meters. That is part 2, the volume of this tank in cubic meters. So how do you get the volume of that cylinder? Volume of that cylinder is given by pi r squared height, or simply the base area, which is a circle, that is the one that we get using pi r squared, then multiply by the height. So this will be the base area, which is circular. We just got that. So 22/7 times 0.7 times 0.7, that is the area of the base, which is a circle. And then we multiply by the height. So let's go back. The height is 2.1 meters. So the height is 2.1 meters. And since we had calculated and this base area to be 1.54 meters. So 1.54 meters squared times 2.1 meters. So when you multiply that, this will give 3. The volume will be 3.231 meters cubed, not squared, because this is volume, cubed. So that is how you work out that part. Part 3, the capacity of the tank in liters. So you're given that 1 meter cubed is equivalent to 1,000 liters. So what about 3.231? So what about that? So for this one, you just multiply. So it will be 3.231 multiplied by 1,000. And these, you simply remove these 3 decimal places by moving forward 3 steps and cancel the zeros. And this will give 3,231 liters. So that is how you work out that part. We go to the next question. A car moves 120 kilometers in 2 hours. Find, so you have the car there. Find the average speed in kilometers per hour. So how do you get the average speed? So average speed is obtained by taking the total distance divided by the total time taken. So the distance is 120 kilometers. Total time taken is 2 hours. So you simply divide 120 divided by 2. This will give 60 kilometers per hour, the speed. Part 2, you're supposed to convert that speed to meters per second. So you're converting 60 kilometers per hour. Remember, 60 kilometers per hour, we can write this one as 60. This is what it means. 60 kilometers divided by 1 hour. That is the meaning of 60 kilometers per hour. So you need to convert 60 kilometers to meters. And you know that 1,000 meters is equivalent to 1 kilometer. So to convert 60 kilometers to meters, you simply multiply that by 1,000. Then you know that 1 hour is equivalent to 3,600 seconds. So this is what you're going to use to convert the kilometers to meters per second. So you want to convert hours to seconds. So the first one, you've converted 60 kilometers to meters by multiplying by 1,000. So the second one, you convert the hours. 1 hour, we multiply that by 3,600. So that is what you're going to do. And you can simplify these further. And if you simplify, let me see, when you simplify these, when you simplify 1000 divided by 3600, that will give 5 divided by 18. So when you simplify these, when you simplify by that, this will give 5 divided by 18. When you simplify, simply this is 1000 divided by 3600, and you can do that one manually. So 1000 divided by 3600, so by 2 you get 18, by 2 you get 5. So that is the 2 zeros, you cancel the 2 zeros, so that is how you simplify this to get 5 over 18. So this will give 60 multiplied by 5 divided by 1 times 18. So again, you can simplify this by 6, 3. 60 divided by 6, you get 10. So this will give 50 divided by 3. And 50 divided by 3, once you work out that, this will give 16 and 2/3. 16 and 2/3 meters per second. So that is how you work it out. Part 3, how far will it go in 45 minutes? So the question is how far. How far means we are being asked to get the distance. So distance will be given by speed multiplied by time. And now I'll choose, you can decide to use the speed in meters per second. And then for that, you have to convert the minutes to seconds. Or you can decide to use the speed in kilometers per hour. That is what I'm going to use, speed in kilometers per hour. And then I multiply by time, the time taken in hours. So I have 45 minutes. So in order to convert that to hours, I will divide by 60 so that you can end up with kilometers. So that is one way. The other way, you can decide to use the speed in meters per second, and then you divide by the time in seconds. So you have to convert 45 minutes to seconds. So for this one, this is the easiest when you use the speed in kilometers per hour, because you simply divide this one out. So you have 60, you'll divide it out, and because these are hours, the hours will also divide out, and you remain with 45 kilometers. So that is what you get. Question 26. The table shows the number of chapatis sold per day. So there are days, and then chapati sold, then the frequency. Draw a bar graph to represent the total number of chapatis sold per day. So when you look at that table, look at the day, chapati sold, then the frequency. So it means like on Monday, the chapati sold were 10, and that was sold twice. So the total number of chapati sold for that day will be 10 times 2. That will give 20. For Tuesday, 12 chapatis were sold 4 times. So total number of chapatis. So the frequency represents the number of times those chapatis were sold. So it will be 12 times 14. That will be 48. Then for Wednesday, 14 times 3. That is 42. Then 16 times 5. That will give 80. 16 times 5. Then 18 times 1 on Friday. 18 chapatis were sold once. So 18 times 1. That is 18. So now these are the chapatis sold for the whole week. So now when you're drawing the bar graph, you should have the days of the week on the x-axis. Then on the y-axis, we have the number of chapatis sold. So you have to determine the scale that you're going to use. So for the days, you can use 1 centimeter represent, or each bar should represent that day. For example, Monday, you should have a bar for that. So that one has no problem. We just need 5 bars. Then for y-axis, when you look at these values, the largest value is 80. 80 is the largest value. Then the smallest I can see the smallest number is 18. The smallest number is 18. So 80 subtract 18. That is how I want to get the scale. 80 subtract 18. That gives 62. So you have 62 chapatis to represent on the y-axis. So the best scale that you're going to use to accommodate 62, you can use 1 centimeter to represent 10, looking at the number of squares that we have there, so that we can use at least around 8. Around 8 will be okay. So we can go to the graph and go to the graph. So we draw the axis. Sorry. This is the axis. So you have the y-axis and then you have the x-axis. So these will represent the number of chapatis, and using 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and so on. So for Monday, how many chapatis were sold? 20. So for Monday we have 20. So we simply draw the bar here. So 20. So I can decide to use 2 centimeters for that. So that will still be enough. So that is Monday. 20 chapatis are sold. Then for Tuesday, we got there were 48. Remember the size of one small square. There in 1 centimeter there are 5 small squares. So and each centimeter, 1 centimeter represents 10. So to get the size of one small square, take 10 divided by 5. 5 small squares. So you notice one small square represents 2. So 48 will be, so from here we have 42, 44. 48 will be up to these. If so, you'll draw. So for the bar graph, you can leave a space of just a centimeter. So 48 will be up to that point. Since one small square represents 2. So that is 48. So that is Tuesday. Then for Wednesday 42. So Wednesday 42. So 42 is there. So 40 and then one small square, 42. So these will be, so that will be Wednesday. Then for Thursday we have 60 times 5, that is 80. So 80. So 80 will be there. So it will be there. So that is Thursday. Then Friday 18 times 1, that is 18. 18. So 18 is there. 18 is there. You should be very careful about the scale. 1 centimeter represents 10, and in that 10 centimeter there are 5 small squares. So one small square is 10 divided by 5, that is 2. So that is Friday. So these are the days of the week. And the number of chapatis are there. So that is the bar graph showing the number of chapatis sold per day. So for part B, how many chapatis were sold that week? So for this one, you get it from the table here. Look at this table that we had filled. On Monday, for example, chapatis sold were 10. Frequency represents the number of times 10 chapatis were sold. So total chapatis sold for Monday will be 10 times 2. That is 20. Tuesday, 12 times 4. Like that. So you're supposed to add all these values that are here. So just add them up. So you'll have 20 plus 48. So 20 plus 48 plus 42 plus 80 plus 18 plus 80 plus 18. So when you add all these values, you get 208 chapatis. Then part C, find the mean number of chapatis sold. So how do you get mean? You simply get the total chapatis sold, divide by the number of days, Monday to Friday. Those are 5 days. So 208 divided by 5. This will give 4. Then group 8. So you have 1, 5, then 0.6. So because you're dealing with the full chapatis, you not take the fraction, you take the whole number only. So 41.6, that is approximately 41 chapatis. Question 27. A learner's daily routine is as follows. Sleep 8 hours, school 6 hours, homework 2 hours, other 8 hours. Draw a well-labeled pie chart to represent the information above. So you're required to draw the pie chart, and to draw the pie chart, you're required to have the angle represented by each. Sleep, what angle? School, what angle? Homework, and others. So you should know that the sum of angles in a circle or angles at a point should be 360. So you start by getting the total number of hours. So total number of hours, you get 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 8. So add all of them. So these will give 10 plus 15, 24 hours. So for these 24 hours, 8 hours are for sleep. So now we want to get the percentage represented by each. So for sleep, what will be the angle? So this is how we get the angle. 8 hours over the total number of hours in a day, then times 360. 360 being the sum of angles in a circle or angles at a point. So you work out that, and that one should give 120 degrees. We go to school. So for school, you have 6 hours. So 6 divided by 24 multiplied by 360. So that gives 90 degrees. Then for homework, we have 2 hours over the total 24 multiplied by 360. So again, this one will give 30 degrees. 30 degrees. And then other we have 8 hours. So 8, 24 times 360. We had calculated this one in sleep. It's the same, 120 degrees. So when you add all these angles, 120 plus 90, that is 210, 210 plus 30, 240, 240 plus 120, that should give 360. Now after obtaining the angles, now you can use the angles to draw pie chart. And for the pie chart, you can use any suitable radius of your choice. So any suitable radius can be used. So you can use check whether this one is okay, ensuring that not so big and should not be again too small. So that is what you're supposed to ensure. So like that one, I find that one to be little bit bigger, so you can try to reduce it a little bit. At least we have something like that. So now we start by measuring the largest angle. So the largest angle. So for the largest angle, you can decide to draw so straight line here, where I will is where I will begin. So that line will help me when I'm measuring the angles. So now I want to measure 120. So 120, take your protractor and then you place it like that. So you place it like that. So 120, you're measuring now from this. This is a 0, 10, 20, 120, somewhere there. So 120 will be there. So that is 120. So you can confirm these. So we measure these angles 10, 20, all the way to 120. So from there, so indicate this is 120 degrees. Then followed by, we still have another 120. We're starting from the largest to the smallest. So you should be careful on how you place your protractor. The central part of the protractor should be lying at the center there. So that is so now placing it like that, we'll measure the angle from here again, 10, 20 up to 120 again. So from here in the center again up to 120. So that is 120. And see how I've measured. So from this point, look at the way I've placed the protractor. So 120 is there. So this again is 120. Then from there, the next angle should be 90. The next angle should be 90. So let me place it like this. So place my protractor like this. So exactly like that. So measuring 90 from this point. So 20, 30, all the way to 90 is there. So 90 is there. So that is 90. So you can confirm. So 10, 20, all the way to 90. So this is 90 degrees. Then automatically, the one that is left there, you don't even have to measure it. If you're correct in measuring all the other, the last one should be automatically 30 degrees. Now that is how you measure the angles. Now from there, you can choose any suitable shading of your choice to make sure that you can distinguish between the various proportions or parts of this pie chart. So I can choose that to be my shading for. So that one was for sleep. Then followed by others. So for other, so this is others. Then for 90, this is school. So for school, I decide to shade it like that. So that is for school. And then so this is a school. And then for the last one is for homework. So this one is for homework. For homework, you can shade it like that. I say to shade it like that. So now you can see all the proportions are clearly visible, and you can distinguish among them. You can know which one is bigger, which one is smaller, and so on. So that is how you draw the pie chart, by first obtaining the angles. Then after obtaining the angles, you can measure them accurately, and you start from the largest to the smallest. We go to the other question. What angle, part B, what angle on the pie chart represents school? We have already calculated that. The angle for the school was the number of hours was 6 divided by 20, then divided by 24, 6 divided by 24 multiplied by 360, we got that one to be 90. All the same, there is still another way you can get that. You can use percentages. You can get the angle, which is 90, but there's no, I don't think you need to complicate it. Just get the angle, get 6 divided by 24 multiplied by 360. That will give you 90. There's another method where you convert first to percentage, then from percentage again you convert to degrees, which is a lot of work for that. 2 marks. So the other one is what percentage of time is spent on homework? Percentage of time spent on homework. Now when you're getting percentage, know that you're going to multiply for homework 2 hours over the total 24. Now don't multiply by 360, just multiply by 100%. And this one gives, when you multiply this, it gives 8 1/3% or 8.3. Alternatively, for this one, you can have another method. You can decide to use the angle representing homework, which is 30, and it is over the total angles, which is 360, and then you multiply by 100. Still, for that one, you'll get 8 1/3 or 8.3%. So there are 2 ways there. You can decide to use 2/4 times 100, or 30 divided by 360 times 100. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question.